Welcome back, travelers, to Legendary Lore. Why is my hair doing that? Joe, how you doing, Joe?
I'm okay.
That's good. So, what we're going to be talking about is the actual story of Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. It came out as a little novel called Sundered Bond. It was written by an individual named Django Wexler. He had worked on previous Magic novels as well. But
Cool.
this time around, we're going to be focusing on the story of Lukka and how he went from the undersea world of the Italian fish into the over the sea world of the Italian humans. But oh, sorry, I have the wrong tab open. Let me fix that real quick. Okay, yeah. Okay, so what we're talking about is Lukka, the guy who became a bonder. Yeah, sorry.
Isn't that guy the leader of the Ori?
Allegedly, theoretically. So basically, the way this works out is that Lukka is part of a special intervention squad, the Coppercoats, and they're basically supposed to be the super guys. They can go out, they find a monster, and they can kill anything that they come across, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then they find a winged tiger, a Patagia tiger. I think is what it's called. There's an actual card for it, but it's just a normal creature. It's not legendary in any way.
So Lukka actually doesn't get it. Well, he's a planeswalker, I guess. But
that's part of the problem. Is you would need to have some kind of flipping technology to have two cards with the same side and to properly show a planeswalker bonded with its creature. But who's ever going to do that?
Give it 2 sets.
Yeah, pretty much. So what's important to note here is that this creature is incredibly intelligent, and so what happens is that the cat kills 3 of his 4 squad members. Yeah.
Okay.
And then suddenly he accidentally bonds with the monster. Because bonding is not something that you would specifically try to do in most scenarios. It's something
That's what I
that
was going to
happens.
ask. How does bonding work? Is that something you actively do? Just I am a bonder and you will witness me. Make poses with me.
So what's important to note here is that I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that in most scenarios, there was no form of bonding happening. Prior to the events of the story, bonding was basically just starting.
Oh.
Something weird was happening on Ikoria, and no one really understood what was going on at first.
So it was happening by accident here at the beginning.
Yes. Well, there's already bonders around, but it's seen as a relatively new phenomenon. And so Lukka accidentally bonds with this creature, and then he sees these images of orange crystals, and he passes out. He then wakes up in the hospital, because remember, he still had one member with him. And his fiance is there. Do you know who his fiance is?
Isn't he marrying that angry guy's wife or daughter?
The angry guy's wife. Why have I heard that so many times? So...
Isn't he marrying that angry guy's daughter?
Yes, he is, Irina. I'm not sure how it's supposed to be pronounced in this particular set. How their world is going to pronounce it. I'm going to pronounce it Irina. The J is going to have the Y sound to it for me. It could be Jirina.
Yo.
So, her father, of course, is General Kudro. And when he discovers Lukka, he thinks, maybe this fool just bonded with that creature and that's why he survived. So he doesn't trust Lukka and immediately imprisons him.
Same.
And Irina's basically like, hey, don't do that. It's my fiance. And he's like, I don't care. He touched a monster and he didn't kill it.
He touched the butt.
He touched the butt. I was going to say that. And I decided not to. So Irina basically breaks him out of prison and allows him to help her fake her own kidnapping. And then while that's happening, Vivian senses some really weird magic and finds Lukka as a result. And it turns out it was the bonding magic. And she was like, hey, what are you? And why do I want to know more about you? You're a human. I hate those people. So Irina is able to escape after the kidnapping. And she tracks down, and she's assigned the job to track down Lukka. So
It's oh no, I'm totally gonna probably fail at finding him.
Well, that's the thing. She's sent with a bunch of mercenary hunters.
Snap.
Yeah. Together, Lukka and Vivian find the winged tiger. And Lukka kind of has this mixed feeling about him because he bonded with it, but he also hates monsters. And so he tries to mentally communicate with it, but because of the fact that he's not willing to open himself up to it, you know, like the whole companion clause of you have to make it to where this creature will actually bond with you.
Yes.
It knocks him out basically immediately. And eventually they find out that there's like a voice, and it's basically telling monsters, attack Draneth, attack the main town. And the voice is coming from a giant crystal formation called the Ozolith, which has recently started acting up. And oddly enough, it started acting up at the same time as all these monsters that are getting a lot more violent, as well as all these bonders suddenly starting to happen. So all this stuff is all taking place in the recent times. And the hunters are like, you know what? In order for us to properly catch Lukka and Vivian, who are on a flying tiger, we need an airship. And so they go to the city of Skysail, so they can hire a ship of sky pirates. And so they eventually, while that's happening, Lukka and Vivian realize, hey, we can actually, like the monsters, they actually talk to each other through the crystals. And so that's probably the reason why the Ozolith is having such a strong effect on them. Everyone gets there. You have Lukka, Vivian, and a few bonders that show up and that they've met along the way. Which a lot of the bonders had names and specific things, but were not connected to any of the other characters because they were made for the book. So this was a huge missed opportunity. Obviously, it has to do with writing and time frame based things. But if they could have been able to kind of combine some of those bonders, especially the ones that were in the commander sets, if they could have combined those guys with the ones that show up in the novels, that would have been really cool because it would have given people a better reason to actually use those characters.
Like Zephi.
Yeah, exactly. Where they actually do something. They have something to them. Like,
here's a character. You might relate to it.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to just general, this person wants to survive.
It's like, okay, here's this person. Here's how he bonded with this card. Okay, but what else do they do? Here's this person. Here's how they bonded with this card.
Don't ask it again. So that they have all the bonders, basically, the bonder group. Then you have Yarina's group. And then there's a ton of nightmares guarding the Ozolith.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. And so Lukka connects his mind to the crystal. And he tries to talk to the person or what the entity that is messing with it. And they realize that the person that is controlling it does not care about the plane. And they don't even, they're like, why would, I don't care about what's happening here. I'm just having fun. I'm just meddling. And so the person's like, you know what? I like you, Lukka. We're kindred spirits, you and I. So I'm going to help you out. You can use your powers. I'm going to help you amplify those powers. And you're going to be able to control the nightmares and tell them to kill all the hunters and pirates. So the hunters get devoured by nightmares and the pirates run away. And it's this taste of power, this taste of control that Lukka gets that really pushes him over the edge. This whole time he's been trying to find who he was, right?
It's like, well, it looks like I'm evil.
Yeah, basically. He realizes, oh, I could do some real damage with this. And so he gets all of the nightmares. So at this point, Lukka, remember, he's been wrestling with it, right? But he realized he has this power to control monsters. And so he, after having controlled the nightmares, it occurs to him, I can control every monster. And if I do that, Draneth will be safe because no one will be attacking it because I'll have control over them all. It's the ultimate power. So in his heart, he thinks, if I control these things, then there's no way that I'll be in, those I love will be in danger. Those I care about will be no longer be in danger. I'll finally be welcomed back and not as a monster because I bonded with these creatures. I'll be seen as a savior because I am controlling them. And Vivian's like, that's not quite right. And the other guy, the bonders are like, yeah, fish are friends, not slaves. And eventually it gets to the point where Lukka's like, you know what, forget you guys. I can do whatever I want. And he tries to take over the minds of the bonders monsters. And Vivian's like, no, can't do that. And so she fights him. And basically everyone has to run away from Lukka because he's too powerful. He weaponized the monsters. That's a red enchantment that it's the whole idea of him weaponizing these monsters. He finally has complete control over these creatures. He's gone completely mad with power.
So Lukka's actually really strong.
Yes. That's why in the Strixhaven
That's why he just destroys Kasmina.
Yes. Also in the Strixhaven story, he had control of literally all the mage hunters at once because that's the kind of power he controls.
Because they were monsters, they weren't human.
Exactly. So that said, we're going to actually stop the episode right here. Right before he decides that what he's going to do is like basically go to Drannith. I will say he lost track of his tiger in the midst of all this happening. So we'll find out what happens.
That's definitely a good cliffhanger. You guys don't want to miss the second half of the story. Go ahead and leave a like if you like the video. Subscribe to catch the next part, and anything else we do magic related. It's kind of our thing every Tuesday, Thursday. And catch some of our gaming videos too. We play games. We're bad at them, but it's awesome. Unless we're playing Ratchet and Clank, which may be happening soon, because we're not bad at that. Unless when we are, and I will tell Ricky. You don't need to tell Ricky because I will do it. I promise you. That's literally my goal in life, to tell Ricky he's awful.
It's true. He looks for every opportunity he can. He even fabricates